In 74 BC, Liu He became emperor of China. 27 days later, he was gone. History remembers him as a disaster, a young king so reckless that his own regent had him thrown off the throne before the month was out. But in 2011, archaeologists opened his tomb, and what they found doesn't match the man the history books describe. Why he fell. Liu He was the grandson of Emperor Wu. His father died young, and Liu He inherited a minor princely title as a child, growing up far from the center of power. When Emperor Zhao died without an heir in 74 BC, the real power in the empire, a regent named Huo Guang, needed a replacement fast. He chose Liu He, 19 years old, untested. Then, 27 days later, Huo Guang had him removed. Here's the line most people know, that in those 27 days, Liu He committed 1,127 offenses, an average of over 40 crimes a day. But that's not quite what the record actually says. The Book of Han states that in 27 days, Liu He's messengers were sent out to government offices 1,127 times, carrying orders and requisitions. Over the centuries, they got compressed into 1,127 crimes. The original just describes a young king issuing a flood of commands, which may say more about a chaotic transition of power than about his character. Whatever the truth, Huo Guang moved fast. Liu He was stripped of the throne, his household executed, and he was sent home in disgrace. Years later, he was given one final, diminished title, Marquis of Haihun. For almost 2,000 years, that was the whole story. What the ground remembered. In 2011, archaeologists began excavating a walled tomb complex outside Nanchang. Confirmed in 2016, it belonged to Liu He. More than 10,000 objects came out of the ground, and some of them directly complicate the reckless failure narrative. Start with the gold. Archaeologists recovered nearly 480 gold objects, cakes, plates, horsehoof ingots, roughly 115 kilograms in total. More gold than has ever been found in a single Han Dynasty tomb. On 4 of the gold cakes, there's an inscription. It identifies the sender as the Marquis of Haihun and references times Zhoujin times the ceremonial gold tribute vassal lords were required to send the emperor each year for ancestral sacrifice wine. Liu He had been disgraced, demoted, watched by a governor assigned to monitor him, and he was still sending the required gold on schedule to the throne that exiled him. We can't know what he intended, but it's an odd habit for a man remembered as someone who didn't understand court protocol at all. The library in the tomb. Then there are the texts. Over 5,000 bamboo slips and wooden tablets were recovered, one of the largest caches of Han-era writing ever found in a single tomb. Among them, slips bearing the title Ji Dao, a chapter that doesn't exist in the Analects we read today. Scholars identified it as evidence these texts belong to the Qi edition of the Analects, a version that vanished from history, known only by name in later bibliographies. And in November 2025, just months ago, researchers announced something bigger. Roughly 1,200 of the slips carry texts from the Book of Songs, matching its traditional structure of 305 poems. Researchers are calling it the first confirmed complete copy of the Book of Songs from the Qin Han period. Some scholars are still working through exactly how complete it is. The restoration isn't finished, but if it holds up, it's one of the most significant classical text discoveries in modern Chinese archaeology. A man written off as ignorant of ritual and learning was buried with what may be the oldest complete copy of one of the 5 classics. Elsewhere in the tomb, a full set of bronze bells and chime stones, string instruments, panpipes, rows of performer figurines, an entire buried orchestra, a bronze lamp shaped like a goose holding a fish, engineered so smoke could be drawn through its hollow neck into its body, where water likely helped trap the soot, and a separate pit holding 5 painted chariots and 20 horses in full harness, the only real chariot burial ever found south of the Yangtze. What this doesn't prove. None of this clears Liu He. The Book of Han's account of his conduct isn't erased by any of it. But it does mean the label reckless failure was never the whole picture. A man surrounded by classical texts, ritual gold, and an entire ceremonial orchestra doesn't fit neatly into the story of someone who understood nothing. Did archaeology prove Liu He was innocent? No, but it proved that 27 days were never the whole man. Prince at 5, emperor at 19, disgraced by 20, and for 2,000 years, remembered for 1 month of his life. Then the ground gave the rest of it back. If you want more real archaeological mysteries from ancient China, subscribe. There's more of this buried history still coming.